That coworker. Good morning. Isn't it an amazing day? How are you? Me. What's the most illegal thing you can do with $1? Change it to 100 pennies, put it in a sock, and beat someone to unaliving with it. Well, he's not wrong. The nicer the house, the harder to find the kitchen trash can. There are so many scams on the internet nowadays. Send me $19.95 and I will tell you how to avoid them. I'm ready to go to dinner at a Chinese restaurant. This is what I'd have to do. Not a bad idea, actually. I'll never forget the time that I helped interview a man for a job opening, and when he was asked what he would contribute to the team, he said, probably snacks. Hey, I doubt if the rest of the team's gonna complain. Me, I'd like to buy a piano. Yamaha, okay. Me, I'd also like to buy a motorcycle. Do you know where I can find a good one? Yamaha, you're not gonna believe this, but it is kind of weird how some companies make such a broad range of products that are completely unrelated. If you ever need me, I'll be 10 missed calls, 20 texts, and 30 voice messages away. My relative doesn't like wasting heat in the winter, so he disconnects the dryer vent and has it vented inside the house. I have my washer-dryer stack unit over my barn, and I have a lint trap on it instead of just an open pipe, but the heat does go inside the barn in the wintertime. But during the summer, not so much. I've actually been needing to put a vent through the wall. In the summer, the barn's already too hot to handle, let alone adding any heat to it. I finally brought a Sharpie, but have nothing to say. Rest in peace, ankles. Things like this is what you end up with when you try to hire somebody to do some work for you. I hate it whenever I do have to hire somebody to do something, because anymore, I just expect it not to be right. If you cannot find something to eat, you can eat a cat, starve, or look in the basement refrigerator. Hey, when it's this hot in the summer, you do whatever you can. It ain't stupid if it works. FYI, the dishwasher is the white thing with the buttons on the right. The dishwasher is not the white balding middle-aged man named Brian. Thank you. I think this may be both contradictory and a little hypocritical, which pretty much goes along with owning an electric car in the first place, and charging it from the power grid instead of using your own solar or wind. Apple iDog. It's a wonder this hasn't already become a thing. Once again, yet another example of what happens when you hire somebody to do something. I could just see somebody walking in the house at night, and I realize that the floor at the doorway is lower than the rest of the floor, and if they walk straight forward, they trip over that, and then fall straight down the stairs. And if what we see here is any indication, who knows what's at the end of those stairs? Caution! Trees don't move. You can almost just hear the complaint that created the reason for why they had to make this sign. Suggested tip: 99%, 35%, 25%. This better be at a really nice sit-down restaurant. And even then, 99%? Really? Tomorrow, I'm gonna get up and work out at 6 a.m. Me at 9 a.m. I admit, I am not a morning person, never have been. It's not that I don't get up early when I have to, but I'm not required to like it. Did you call a customer dumb tonight? No. I said, are you dumb? I was asking him. Do you think that was appropriate? Very much so. In certain situations, especially these days, I completely agree with this statement. I don't know if whoever took this photo was somebody who walked in after the fact, or if this is the guy who's showing off his masterpiece. Hello, Sarah. My name is Diesel. And guess what? I take Diesel. Love you, Diesel. When you need a permit to build the deck, but not one to park your trailer. Well, you gotta park it someplace anyway. And this way, you get to use it even when it's just sitting doing nothing. Me, can I get my charger back? Them, what percent are you on? Me, I don't care what percent I'm on. It's my charger. What kind of psycho could relax at a place like this? I agree. I can't stand stuff like this. Who would even put that there to begin with? If I had to see that every day, I'd be tempted to move it. I don't care if it was in the public park. How to apologize to me? Hey, I'd accept that as an apology. No healthy decisions happen in the kitchen after 10 p.m. I'd say this is pretty accurate. The only thing I can think of that you're likely to eat after 10 p.m., and that is actually a good thing, would be yogurt. When your happy warm weather is finally here, but the pollen count is 1 million. Dang on, man. I think he needs to go to the hospital and get an antihistamine injection or something. I sure hope I never have any allergies that become remotely this bad. Why does this pancake look like Homer Simpson on a Ring doorbell? That is a pretty accurate description. Me trying to get 8 hours of sleep and just 3 hours. Yep. Done that way too many times. Cop, you're driving down the wrong side of the road. Driver, sorry, I'm English. Cop, shouting, it's the wrong side of the road you were driving down, isn't it? Yeah, that was my very bad attempt at a English accent. Funny thing is, if I'm around people long enough that have a strong accent, or even hear it on videos or other things for a long enough period of time, I unintentionally start picking it up and using it by accident. Then, I have a hard time stopping. I think I would have done this a little different. You think so? I mean, I see the guy chop down that tree with apparently an axe, although it almost looks like a splitting maul with a fiberglass handle, which personally I hate those kind of handles because it transfers a lot more vibration and impact to your hands than what a real hickory handle does. But still yet, I don't understand why he's trying to use a floor jack to get the tree to go ahead and fall. With as much as he's got cut, he could probably just use a handsaw to finish it, because there can't be very much left. My job is to paint. Cleaning is another department's job. That's just, I don't know. If he didn't want to move it, it'd have been better that he just sprayed right over top of it than do that. Hot Pockets. Cook on high for 1 minute, let cool for 27 years. I don't understand people that clean under their ovens and refrigerators. Whatever is under there is no longer my business. I have to agree with this. The only time to clean under there is if you pulled it out to repair it, you might want to clean then. Or if you're pulling it out to have to replace it. Other than that, I don't see the purpose. The proudest moment of my life was photoshopping my tire being flat to get out of work. I really finessed it. Worst thing is, in the first photo, it looks like he needed to add some air to that tire anyway. How lazy are you? Me. This isn't lazy. You just don't want to have to get out of bed for the third or fourth time just after you finally get comfortable. Before I got married, I'd just smash in the back of cars because I didn't have a wife to gasp and scream when someone braked 3 miles ahead of me. Parting in one of these at the bank and sending it back. That's just wrong. Just in case you guys didn't know, that's a pretty good hack. The TSA guy said my toothpaste was too big and took it. And I nodded solemnly and said, "The world's a safer place now." And he laughed and gave it back. I've only flown one time, round trip, but how many of you guys watching remembers a day when the TSA didn't exist? When you didn't have to wait in line to get your body violated and every single piece of your luggage thoroughly scrutinized. And yet, after all the crap that they put people through, there was a news article I saw back a little while ago about how regulator testers were able to get dangerous weapons or things that could be used as weapons right by the TSA 90% of the time. When you're single and people tell you there's plenty of fish in the sea, but all your prospects look like... I've seen almost all of these before, but what the heck is number 3? I've never seen a picture of a fish that looked like that. That's just creepy looking. I got my first HOA complaint, so instead of just dealing with it and moving on, I am reading the entire HOA handbook and snitching on every single one of my neighbors that has stuff wrong with their house. I just go to all the HOA board members and do that to their houses. Me hearing that crunch sound when I vacuum up some crumbs. That is kind of satisfying for some reason, isn't it? I'm just gonna say it. Milk is an ingredient, not a beverage. I completely disagree. Cold milk, especially raw milk, is indeed a very good beverage. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your toddler walks past you, lugging a step stool, nothing good is about to happen. Only a fool would buy IKEA furniture. Instead, I just downloaded the instructions and keep emailing their service department to say that I'm missing a piece until they ship me all the pieces over a 6-month period. That's an awful long time waiting. And just think how much it would cost the company in shipping all those individual parts. Europeans, when someone says smiles instead of skilometers. So this is what minivans are for. Hey, and look, he's still got the second row seating. That's actually a pretty good setup. They just pull the entire stalls right out of the back of the vehicle and return it back to its original condition without any damage. All it would need is probably a good vacuuming. When you are the only one who's on time for a Zoom meeting. Back some months ago now, I was supposed to have a video appointment with one of my doctors. And for some reason, something happened on their end that they could see and hear me, but I couldn't see or hear them. I had no idea they were even on there. I thought they were just running late. In the end, they finally figured it out and had to do the appointment by phone. Expert wife tip. Keep your man busy for hours by simply dripping used oil under his truck. Yeah, you could do this, but don't be in no hurry the next time you need something fixed. Work until you can afford a giraffe. Not only why would you want a giraffe, but why does he have it in his house? And that one can't even be half grown. Unless he's sticking his head through a second-story window or something. I want to lose weight, but I don't want to get caught up in one of those eat right and exercise scams. Yeah, they ain't going to have that in any of their scams, because they're not going to make any money. Nobody wants to do that. A year or two ago, I only ate one meal a day and lost about 40 pounds. But then because of a lot of things that was happening, I ended up gaining it all back. But I'm starting to try to work on my health again. Trying to get things improved. Because I certainly can't afford things to get any worse. I try to be a good person, but then someone pulls out in front of me doing 10 below the speed limit, and I gotta try again tomorrow. Secret to a successful relationship is to ignore star signs and be with the one who is compatible with your thermostat settings. That's probably good advice. I've been getting a lot of bread lately. Not money, but my carb intake is unreal. This guy ties a good knot. Yeah, I reckon so. All he's got to do is wait until the water comes back up. Which, these days, if it comes back up. I have the paper towel habit of a much richer man. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. Hey now, I'm offended by this. I don't listen to too many new groups these days, and I haven't really listened to any of their newer stuff, but I've always liked Nickelback's older songs. Never understood why it become trendy to hate Nickelback either, but I couldn't care less what people thought. I listened to it anyway. I don't care what people think of me. Mosquitoes find me attractive. When I was younger, I thought adults were being dramatic when they said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Now, as an adult myself, I can confirm, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Usually it's 5 or 10 things all at the same time. Convenient napkin dispenser lets you grab either a handful of 60 napkins or tear off a small corner of one napkin. The choice is not yours. And I'll end this video on a good note. To the person who noticed my open sunroof during a thunderstorm, I thank you with all of my heart for your random act of kindness. Click on one of the videos above to help support the channel. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I thank you all for watching. This is Akorn, over and out.